everybody! Welcome to my very first video blog. This is Claudia's perspective, and my name's Claudia. So this is going to be a video all about my experience having my second C-section. Now, this is going to help moms out there, kind of get the gist of what a C-section's all about and the good and the bad. Kind of prepare for it. And I just wanted to kind of tell you my story of how I went through it. So first and foremost, I just want to let you know that if you are very interested in this video, please give a good thumbs up because I would absolutely love that. And if you feel the need to do so, because I always would love a comment or two, feel free to leave a comment down below because I will definitely respond to the best of my ability. And if you want to go even further, feel free to subscribe to my channel, Claudia's Perspective. So let's get going. All right, so a C-section is something that a lot of women out there, have a hard time kind of putting their minds into wanting to even do. Now, for me personally, my story behind the C-section is that I didn't have a choice. I am a very, very petite woman. I'm 4'11". So being 4'11", my doctor has told me that my pelvis is too small. And how do I know that? Well, I experienced my C-section for the first time with my daughter, Chloe. Now, that time around, which was 3 years ago, I did not prepare for the cesarean. I was planning to, my water broke, I went into labor, I pushed, I thought everything was going fine, and then all of a sudden the doctors told me that, she wasn't coming out. Even with as many things as I tried, she was not coming out. So unfortunately, I had to, put my mindset into a completely different place and know that right then and there I had to have an emergency C-section. So I told myself, you know what? I want to get my baby out safely. Let's do it. So I had my C-section. That was really hard for me the very first time because it was not planned. So I was drained, I was stressed, I was mad, I was extremely emotional. It was just not an experience that I wanted to experience again. 3 years later, after 3 years of having time to kind of get over that, I realized, you know what, do I want to put myself through I don't know, pushing again and going into pushing again and just going into the whole craziness of having a cesarean again? Yes, I actually do, because I don't want to go through the pushing and labor. I just want to have a planned cesarean. I want to forget about all that. So that's what I chose to do. I planned my second cesarean, and honestly, it was a lot easier for me, physically and emotionally. Or let me just put it straight, physically and mentally. So C-section number 2 for my little baby boy, it was planned on August 2nd at 7:30 in the morning. Now, since I knew it was planned, I was able to get my hospital bag ready as I could get. I was able to shave. I was able to put a little bit of makeup on, wash my hair the night before, dry it, get it all the way I wanted to get it for the hospital, not like nobody really cares. But you want to get yourself feeling as prepared, and as comfortable as possible to make your experience as best as it can be. So for a cesarean, just remember that the hospital will provide you with pretty much a take-home recovery bag. So a lot of those essential items in that recovery bag are going to be really, really helpful for you to have for the first week to 2 weeks. Now, in the take-home recovery bag, just so you know, just so you don't really have to buy everything in the world before your cesarean, they're going to pairs you with really, really big maxi pads. They're like granny size. Some really light but huge pairs of underwear. And they're going to also provide you with witch hazel pads if your hospital does that, just to cool the area down there, kind of calm it down. And they're going to give you a little gouge bottle to clean yourself down there when you need to take a shower. And I believe that was about it for what was in my hospital bag, because that's really all I needed. So just, you don't need to go ahead and buy You don't need to go ahead and bring huge maxi pads in your hospital bag exactly with you because they're going to provide you with that. And you don't need to bring really big underwear because they're going to provide you with that as well. So just kind of think about that. Now, for my C-section, we went in at 5:30 in the morning. Just remember, you have to get there 2 hours before the surgery actually happens because you need to have 2 hours for the nurses to get you monitored, get your vitals done, make sure your body is ready for the surgery. So just prepare yourself for that. Another thing that I wanted to let you guys know is make sure your hospital bag has electronics. Woohoo! Cell phones, iPads, iPods, laptops, the Surface Pro 4, whatever. Just something to keep you entertained because you're going to have a lot of downtime, and that downtime is going to really benefit you if you have something to entertain you with. They have a TV. Okay, they have a TV. They have big windows. But just something that you're used to, that you're comfortable with to keep you distracted is super nice. Even if you bring a special someone with you, they might just want to sleep if it's a really early planned C-section. So I was told that I kind of planned my C-section a little too early in the morning because we had to get up around 4 to even get ourselves ready to leave for the hospital. So my husband was super tired, so he wasn't too happy about that, but at least he had his coffee. So I'm sorry. Yeah, that wasn't the best planning. But anyway, a good example, maybe you should, if any lady out there who's going to be having, if any mom out there who's going to be having a C-section, planned C-section, it probably would make sense to plan it a little bit later than 7:30 just to give yourself a little bit more time to sleep. Just a recommendation. So after the 2 hour wait, I then went into the surgery room, and there were the bright lights, the doctors, the nurses, the anesthesiologist. They were all there ready for me. I was brought in on the bed that I was on before I went into surgery. And once I went into surgery, they were really quick in getting me ready to have my spinal tappeta. Spinal tappeta is definitely different from having the epidural because it is a few pokes in the back to numb your entire body from under the bra line down. I'm going to be very honest with you. The spinal tappeta did not feel good at all. And so with the spinal tappeta, it's a bit painful, actually, to be very honest with you. So just remember to breathe slowly and relax your body, because if you don't breathe slowly and relax your body, it's going to tense up and it's going to be harder for the anesthesiologist to do what he needs to do to numb your body. So once that was done, I was literally waiting for just a few minutes until they went straight into the surgery. I couldn't feel anything because I was completely numb. My legs and my feet, I felt like I didn't even have because I was that numb. But I promise you, I don't know if moms who've had a cesarean before, but for me 3 years later, I did remember the little cold compress that they put on my body to see if I even felt the coldness. I couldn't feel the coldness, so I knew I was completely numb. So what is something to just tell you moms out there to expect for a cesarean literally in the middle of surgery that I forgot about? Well, the tugging and the pulling. The tugging and the pulling was something I actually forgot about in terms of the feeling of what it really was like. So for me personally, the pulling in the end was probably the hardest part for me. I didn't realize it was as harsh of a pull as possible because they're literally pulling your baby out, but safely, of course. But just be prepared that it is no walk in the park when it comes to the feelings of what you feel because you're awake for the whole thing. So when they say, okay, here we go, we're going to get the baby out, you're going to feel some really hard pushing, some really hard pulling, get prepared because it is some seriously hard pushing and pulling. It feels like they're pressing down on your chest as hard as possible. but they're not. It's just you feel like you can't breathe for a few seconds and then out comes the baby. So, not to scare any moms out there, but that's just what I experienced. So, overall, just realize that cesarean is not it's not as hard as some moms might think. Now, I am one mom out of how many moms in the world. So this is just my experience and how I got through it. So I had my husband right next to me. So have someone special someone right next to you just to distract you by singing, humming, holding your hand, talking to you, just keeping your mind distracted. Because if you don't have that distraction, all you're going to think about is, oh my goodness, I am awake for a serious surgery. So just prepare yourself in that sense, because it really helped. When my baby was born, I cried like an emotional mama would cry, and I was able to have that amazing skin to skin contact, and it was absolutely amazing. So any moms out there, just remember that a C-section is one of those things that you will have to do if you plan it, because that was your choice. But if you have a different route of bringing your baby into the world, that's your choice too. This video is solely about, how to get through a C-section if you've had one, or if you haven't had one, just how to physically and mentally get through a really strong surgery such as this one. So I really hope you liked my video. I hope it was informative. It was my little story of my second C-section to bring my baby boy Bo into this world. He's beautiful and I love him, and he's a really good boy. I'm gonna have more videos all about him in the future. But just please, if you do love my video, subscribe below, because I would love to see the subscription, and also I would love to see your comments if you have any. Other than that, have a great one. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.